All right, can you guys see that? Okay. All right, so this is the house. It's a 5-bed, 2-bath. As we go through it, we'll see the pool and whatnot. But it's all one story. This is the front of it. So you can kind of see there's a garage, which I'll show later. I'm going to convert that to a like a game room. This front part right here, you can see in the middle, there's a lot of these dead grass, and the pavers on the bottom's pretty dated. The original owner was a grandma, so she just has all the old stuff there. So I'm gonna get rid of all the grass and the leaves and the bushes right here, and just put some gravel there. I don't want to deal with having live plants, and I don't want to deal with like having to water them and trim them all the time. So I'm just gonna put gravel for now. If I find like a easy like cactus or whatnot, then I'll put it there. But again, like cactuses, they also have spikes, and people might get hurt from it. I don't want to deal with any liability issues. So right now I'm planning just to put gravel and just have a nice clean entrance up here. Okay, so here's the front of the door. So this used to be a medium-term rental. I had 5 different tenants in here for each bedroom. You can see how there's a ring camera on the left. That's just so I can see who's entering. So if you don't have a camera in the front, I would put it either near the door like this, or just kind of facing so you can see like who's entering. And then on the top left, we had an August lock, so the tenants can just type in the code. But for short-term rentals, I prefer to use the Solage on-code lock, and I'll talk more about that later. But essentially, it's a smart lock that will automatically change the code based on who's staying there. So say they check in, Friday to Sunday, it'll automatically make a code for them that only works for those 2 days, and before and after it won't work. So that's just kind of automating it so that you don't have issues with people like trying to use manual locks or not being able to get in. Okay, so some stuff was already updated when I did the MTR last year. So here's the living room. The carpet was really old, so we put new carpet in. That was last year. Before, I also did not have a TV. I think for short-term rentals, the biggest bang for your buck in terms of adding value is having a TV. So I have a TV here on the right, but it's a bit smaller than I want, so I'm gonna get a bigger one. I just thought the room was smaller than I originally thought. So this is a 40-inch. I think it needs a 65 or 70-inch TV. Because a lot of people want to go on vacation and have a big TV. So I'm gonna get a bigger one and put this in the master bedroom. And then the couch on the left, that's what I had last time for MTR. I'll probably just keep it. I think if I find a good deal for a couch, I'll bring it in. But new couches, nowadays it's like 400 or 500 at least for a couch. You can get one that's used and then kind of cover it up. But these couches right now, they work pretty well, so I'm just gonna keep it and add one more couch next to it. But yeah, you can kind of see the fireplace isn't the best. I think in the future I'll get rid of that, but right now it's not a huge item to be placed right now. The dining table here, I got a really cheap one last year. I'm gonna replace this with a probably still a 4-seat dining table. Once we go around the other side of the house, there's a second living room, and I'm gonna make that into a dining room. Ideally, you want to have enough seats for all the guests you can have in the house. So since it's a 5-bedroom, each room could hold 2 people, then you want to have a dining table for 10 people. And you can see right here, this dining area is too small for 10 people. So when we go around to the other side of the house, it'll have a lot more space for a longer table. Yeah, this, we'll quickly go through this. Is this the bedrooms? Nothing special. I'm gonna get the beds in there probably next day or two. the bathroom here, so it's this one, they remodeled it, I think 10 years ago. When I bought it, and I remodeled it, like some parts of it. I added some new hardware and the lights at the top, but all the frames was this brown wood trimming that they had before. I was planning, if I did the whole bathroom remodel, I think my quotes were around 15K or so based on the finishing. So I decided, the bathroom is important, but it is, it's not laminate, it's actually like some kind of quartz countertop. And everything else looks pretty clean. The floor is new, the lights are new. So I'm just planning to paint the trim a blue. Once we get to the kitchen, it'll be the same blue as that. And then it'll just be a white bathroom with the gray tile and blue trim around. I think in the future, if I really need to update the bathroom, then I'll do that. But right now, I think it's pretty good, especially since I'm targeting families, not really like, high-end, like young adults. So I think for families, as long as it's clean and the cleaners do a good job cleaning it, then I think that's it makes everyone happy. So here's the master bedroom. Right now, there's a queen in there. I'm gonna make this move this to another room and put a king into it. I think in most cases you want kings in all your bedrooms. I think the average American's like 5'9". You might have some adults are like 6 feet. So a queen's kind of pushing it. I think king is what you should have in each room. But this house is very old. I think the master can fit a king pretty easily, but the other bedrooms are too small and be a bit too cramped. So I'm just going to keep queens into those bedrooms. Okay, so now we're going to the kitchen. So you can kind of see we've been painting it blue. I think the quotes I got for all new cabinets was close to like 8-10,000. I think maybe in the future I would do a full remodel of the kitchen, maybe like tear down the wall on the right and make it more open floor plan. But for now, it's decently sized, there's space in there for a family to cook in. And I found a guy to paint it pretty cheaply, so I'm just gonna just paint it. The countertop guys came today, so that's a quartz. I was getting quotes between like 2,000 and 5,000, but I found a guy that would do it for like like mid 2000s, which I thought was a pretty good deal. So tomorrow the guy's gonna come and install the sink and the plumbing, and then the painter is going to finish painting the kitchen white. So right now there's that weird kind of brick in the background. I think it was too much work to rip it out, sand the drywall, and then surface it and then paint it. I guess the guy said he can paint it for pretty cheaply, so I'm going to paint that. And also,
hey Chris, sorry for interrupting. Are you putting in new cabinets at all, or are you just taking them out and painting them?
Yeah, so we're painting everything. So yeah, the drawers they took out, gonna paint it. I was trying to put in like soft close hinges and soft close drawers, but I guess these cabinets are so old it's not flush to the walls, so it won't work. So yeah, when you pull it, it's not the greatest feeling, but the two upgrades would be the color, paint it, and then putting handles on the drawers. So it'll look a lot better. Yeah, and the guy found it's pretty cheap, the work he's going to do. So I said, let's do that. But yeah, definitely, if it was a bit older, like say it was maybe 10 years older, then yeah, I'd probably put in new cabinets here. Because you can kind of see in the middle that railing in the middle for the drawer. That's one of the older models of that. They don't really do that anymore. But it's still pretty smooth. The old owner was a handyman and a mechanic, so everything's pretty, installed pretty well in this house. I think if you do want to paint a room, and then the kitchen should be a bright room. So the white on the left, you can see it's like an off-white. I think it's okay, but since the kitchen is pretty small, I'm gonna have a guy just paint it like a brighter white. So he'll do that probably tomorrow. And then yeah, what's on the sink. Also up here, the trimming was a wood. Like I was saying, the owners were like grandparents, so they had like wood everywhere. But we're gonna paint that this blue and just move on. But if you want to do a full remodel, you know, there's a couple more grand to put recessed lights up there and get rid of this styling at the top of it. But overall, all the appliances are new except the refrigerator. I put in the microwave and the stove top last year, and then the dishwasher we just got like a few months ago. It broke. Refrigerator is still okay. And like I was saying, if I was trying to do like a full STR update, kind of semi-luxury, then I'd probably get a new refrigerator that's also stainless steel. But this one works fine, and to get stainless steel one right now, it's like 800 or 1,000 for like a decent sized one. So that's something I'll probably get in the future. So here's the other living room. So this was what I'm planning to put the 10-seat dining table. That'll be long ways, as you can see. There's a lot of junk in the way right now. So that's where the dining room's going to be. Okay, so we're going to other bedrooms. There's not much here to really show. You can see the bathroom's the same as the other bathroom. I'm just going to paint the trimming and maybe do a deep cleaning on it because it's pretty dirty. And then just move on. That's not too bad. There's one thing I did add to the bathrooms yesterday was I had a guy install bathroom fans. So you can see at the top. Well, I guess I didn't film that, but before, this house is really old, so they didn't have ceiling fans in the bathrooms. And I think for a short-term rental, you're gonna have all these guests using the toilet. They're probably out drinking or eating a lot of fast food. I don't know what, but I think you definitely need a fan in case it smells. And also because they're probably taking like 5 showers in each bathroom each day. So it's definitely going to steam up the house. Because before I had 5 tenants, with STRs to have 10, so double the showers. And you may not be able to see it in the video, but the ceiling has some, I guess, residue marks from like water sitting up there too long. So definitely if you're going to do STR, I think you got to install the fans.
So besides paint, you're not doing much to the bathrooms?
Yeah, the bathroom's pretty much just gonna be paint and trim, and then besides that, everything's pretty okay. I think, like I was saying, if I went to redo the bathrooms, I think the quotes are about 5,000 to 10,000 based on like the finishings. Because if I redid the bathroom, I would get rid of the tub and put in the walk-in showers, to both of them, right? So that's another like, you know, maybe potentially 15, 20K right there based on the finishings. But I think right now,
yeah, walk-in shower is a lot more expensive than a tub. A tub is like $300.
Right. So yeah, so we'll see. Like I was saying, like, you know, based on what you're trying to do, if you're trying to go higher end, then you definitely need a walk-in shower. If you're targeting families, they can deal with it as long as it's clean. Like there's no like mold, there's no like dirt or hair from the past guests. You just gotta make sure your cleaner is really good, and that's all going well. So here's the washer dryer. The dryer broke, I don't know, was it like a week or 2 ago? So that one's brand new. So here's the garage. The countertop team's just chilling here. So I didn't want to film them, but they're just here chilling, taking a break. But you can see here's like the garage. So it's a 2-car garage. It's still an old 2-car garage. So it's not as big as the garages nowadays. It's kind of tight. I think the old owners just put their 1 car into the garage. Yeah, there's an AC in it because the owner's husband, he was a mechanic and he would like work on cars. So apparently he had like 5 cars on the street. He just like work on them. So he put AC in there. Unfortunately, I found out like this week that my AC is broken, so I gotta get a new AC in here. But yeah, we'll see how things shake up. I think Home Depot, for the size I need one, it's about like $400 or $500. I think let's get that and move on. But you can kind of see. Let me move back a little bit. The walls all white. It's not like too clean of white, but we're gonna use that blue paint in the kitchen, just paint it. It might be a little bit overwhelming. I would test the wall and see how it feels, but I think as a game room, it's okay to be kind of bold. Also, it's like a STR, not like your house. So maybe in a house, like a bright red or bright yellow room's too much. But I think for STR, it's kind of experience. We're gonna have a guy epoxy the garage floor, like a sand tan color. So it'd be kind of like the beach, you know, like the sand ground and the blue walls, like, you know, the sky. So we'll see how that works out. And then if I need to paint something, I'll paint something. But yeah, so the guy's gonna paint all the walls and then the door and the ceiling. And then yeah, in this room, I'm gonna put a ping pong table. Like I said in the beginning, you want you want to experience and you want something that other STRs don't have. So I think having a garage and other houses don't, I can put bigger stuff that's in a covered room. So I'm gonna put a ping pong table in here, and then on the other side that we just passed by, so this side, I bought 2 arcade systems, so I'm gonna put them on this side of the wall. I think the other side has the AC. I think it'd be too noisy if they turn that on and they're also playing games there next to it. So I figured we'll just put it on this side of the wall. One thing I'm trying to figure out what to do is the garage door. I guess because since the guy was like a mechanic, he had his like really heavy duty garage door. Like it's like full metal, it's pretty heavy. Like I don't know if you guys do this at home, but like if you don't have a remote control in your car, you're trying to close the garage and run out, you just gotta like jump over the light, you know, thing at the bottom and then get out. But the door closed quicker than I'm used to, and it caught me in the back, so I just like scratched my back now. It's like a scab. But yeah, so from that, it's kind of a good learning experience because I might, from that experience, I might want to like lock the garage door closed. I thought at first, oh, it was kind of cool, like having this open, like it's good weather, they can play ping pong and it's chill here. But after that experience, I think it might be a slight liability where this door is kind of heavy, and you know, it cut me because I tried to jump out of it in the corner. So yeah, I might just paint it like spray paint the back and then lock it closed. I think secondly, it might not be good with neighbors or people driving around, seeing like the arcade games there and the ping pong table there. That might, you know, get some worse suspicions or potential death. So I might just lock that door down, and if they want air, they can turn the AC on and then open the side door. But yeah, we'll see how things shake out next year.
Would you say for STRs and MTRs, garage or parking, indoor parking doesn't matter at all?
I think, you know, it'd be nice. I think it's a plus. Maybe in the future I might put a little shade thing in the front yard. But also I think for Arizona, the peak season is springtime and the weather's really good. So I think they'd be okay parking outside. Of course, in the summer, it'd be really hot and they probably don't want to park outside. But even if they could park inside, you're not making that much money in the summer. I think for this, I'm aiming to gross between 75 and like 85 in a year. But in the springtime, like probably February, March, April, May, like those, you know, 3-4 months, I'm aiming to get at least 60 or 70% of that gross income in those 4 months, because you can charge so much for the weekends and people want to stay there for the whole week, for example. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking of doing it. You know, we'll see. I think in the summer, a lot of folks, they only booked on the weekends in the summer, and it's not even that much. It's like maybe 200-300 a night on a weekend in the summer. So in the whole summer, it's like 4 months. You might be only making like 5,000-8,000 for the whole summer. You could probably do better, but I don't know if it's worth having them park inside. But yeah, we'll see. I got a ping pong table. You could fold it up and they can park inside. But yeah, I'll just kind of try it this way and then adjust as it goes on. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the pool room. And then in Arizona, they have this thing called Arizona rooms. Basically, they enclose their patio and they can like just chill there and be covered and have some of the breeze and have some of the AC room too. So out here, is the Arizona room. So you can see the pool tables in there. So the guy right now, there was carpet there before. He tore it out, and then he's scraping the glue off the bottom, and then he's gonna epoxy it. And then these wood panels on the wall, like I said, the owners were grandparents, so it's all kind of dated. We're just gonna paint that all blue. There was panels in the living room when I bought it, and we tore those out. But the problem we had with that was that they like glued it to the drywall really well, and it was just so tough to like take the glue off. I think my dad used like a chisel or something for like a day or two, and he was like never again. So we figured like, okay, we leave the panel here. It's stuck on pretty well, and we'll just paint it and then see how that goes. But maybe in the future we'll rip that out. Okay, yeah. Testing says you can put in some sunshades in the basket. Yeah, I think I can do that. But I think also they probably steal them too. So we'll see. Yeah. I think what the biggest thing that gets stolen is like people like taking my TV remotes for some reason, and they like taking my batteries from my remotes. So I don't know what's up with that, but they're always missing. Yeah, so we're gonna paint these. So like I was saying, like the windows here are kind of dated. The sliding door, like you saw, is kind of hard to open. But all that's gonna be like maybe like 10 grand of like things to add. So I don't think that's really necessary for now. I think in the future I'll do it, but right now I think it's okay. They also have these big speakers in the corners. I couldn't figure out where the speakers got sound from, so we'll just take them out and then just maybe put a plug-in speaker there. I don't recommend Bluetooth speakers because people just steal them. They just like wander off with them. So I don't recommend that. Try to have things that are plugged in. Okay, so and you can also see that there's 3 sliding doors to this room. This is where, my point of view, there's a little I guess security risk. Like say they don't lock one of these doors and someone breaks in from the back door. There's triple the chances that one of these doors aren't locked and they can break in. So there's only so much you can do. Like I'll probably add a camera on the back right up here, facing the windows on the left. So if someone tries to break in, the camera will catch it. I need to double check the Airbnb and VRBO camera laws or I guess rules, because there's rules about you're not supposed to have cameras inside a house. I guess technically it's inside a house here, facing this front door. But it's kind of hard to find the right angle to kind of capture this wall. Yeah, I have a couple of Ring cameras. I'm trying to figure out whether to put it inside here facing the door, or once we get outside to the backyard in the top right corner behind this palm tree, maybe hang it right there. But yeah, I just want to make sure there's a camera there in case something happens. And then of course, the home rules you send to the guests, you just tell them like, hey, like, make sure you lock the doors before you leave. So you will see how this goes. I think all my other SCRs, only one has a back entrance, and we have an actual deadbolt lock for that. But this is the first time we have these sliding doors and not like deadbolt heavy duty doors on the backside. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. The pool table is not the best pool table. I think this is my first time having a pool table, but my friends who have that, they say you gotta get special type of felt because people spill like beer or drinks on it all the time, and it's just like troublesome. So I guess we'll see what happens for now. This is a table that the old owners had, so I just inherit this, but I'm going to maybe cover it one day or change the felt one day or just get a new one. But for now, I'm thinking this room would be more like where the adults would play. So I'll probably have the pool table in the middle. There's a dartboard in the back left. I'm still trying to decide whether or not to get a newer dartboard or it's a liability, because like they're throwing like, like throwing darts. I don't know that's the safest thing. I don't think I've seen an Airbnb that had a dartboard. I think this is too much liability. So I might just not replace it. But I might just have like a little table in the corner. I might put a TV in the corner too, but it might be too much. I think, like I said before, I'm trying to have a budget where it's like a a decent, good, family STR. And as long as you're better than the rest, then you're good. I think being perfect, start overspending. And I'm already kind of over budget. So I'll probably just keep how it is for now and see how that goes. Because they're gonna have TVs, a pool, the pool table here, the ping pong table, and then 2 arcade games. So like it should, cover at least 6 people with that. And then with the pool table, the pool outside, so the whole family can play out there. Okay, so this basketball hoop thing, that's what the old owners had. I'm gonna find a way to toss that, but the bulk pickup was like a week or 2 ago. I missed it, so I plan to have someone haul that away. So let's start from the left side. So right now the pool has this big bush on the left. You can see it's kind of overgrown, like my gardeners haven't done a good job. So I'm just gonna tear that out. I'm gonna have someone just tear all that bush out and just put gravel there, and then we don't need to have maintenance anymore. The pool, when I came here like last month, it was like a swamp. It was like dark green. It was pretty bad. So I had to get a new cleaner, and it's starting to look okay. So maybe this weekend I can go try and swim in it. But I had this house for almost over 2 years, and I haven't been in a pool. So hopefully this month I'll go in a pool finally. Here's a little side thing. It's not that major, but they had a deco drain here. I think most pools now don't really have that, but they had one here that was all cracked and kind of sharp. So I had a guy take that out, and then I'll probably, either I'm gonna put like sand or some like nice rocks in there. I don't think I'm gonna cement that, but in the future I'll probably redo the deck anyways. So I don't want to spend too much money on this because the deck will probably give out in the next like 2-3 years. So most likely I'll just put sand or some kind of foam in there. But I just want it so that no one trips on it. If I put a new deco drain into it, I think the guy quoted me like $2,000 for that. So I guess the material is really expensive, but or it's hard to put inside. But it wasn't really worth it. So and the point of this, I don't fully understand, because no one's really like jumping out of the pool with all this water splattering everywhere. I think it's pretty warm, so it's dry up. But yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay, so this back wall here, you can kind of see like, so I'm 5'8", and I can kind of the camera I'm holding probably like 4.5 feet, and I'm kind of over this this back wall. It's pretty low. I think it's only like 5 feet tall, and I got quotes to make it taller, but I think I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I think it's enough privacy for the guests there. If needed, I'll make it taller, but the quotes I got was like $3-4 grand to add some cinder blocks on top. So I'm just gonna skip that. But I'm gonna paint a mural back here probably tomorrow. I'll sort of just decide what to do. I might try to do like 3 or 4 different themed murals, like small ones on each like section that's divided by those pillars. Or I might just put a couple there, like we'll see. But I think a lot of people, they like murals that either say where they're at. So it's like here in Arizona, so I'll probably put something Arizona. There's like, just put Arizona as kind of font and colors there. And maybe some, animals or cactus and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see. Because so the pool's gonna be blue. The deck is kind of this sandish color. All the gravel that's gonna be in the back here is gonna be like a brown color. So it might make sense to put like a cactus theme in the back there and then put Arizona. But yeah, we'll see what I end up doing. All right, so back here in the middle of this pool, they had a diving board. The guy took it out today, so it's this line right there. But the diving board is kind of a liability to have. My pool is deep enough, like you can see the clean tool is pretty deep. It's at least 14 feet deep, I think. That's why they had a diving board. But I think it's kind of a risk, even with getting better insurance, of people like jumping off of it or tripping on it. I actually seen I don't know, probably 8 years ago, it was a pool party, and some kid was like jumping on the diving board with another kid, and the kid fell off, and she like hit her chin on the side of the deck, and then she just like cut her lip or whatever and went to the ER and got stitches. So I'm just not gonna, I don't want any diving boards there. Behind it, you can see that's the water filter for the pool. The guy's going to come and cover that with a brick wall. It is kind of loud. I never had a pool before, so it's pretty loud. It's a little annoying and doesn't look that good. Somehow the guy built a little like 4-foot cylinder wall around it, and then next to it is a shed. You guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then, and I asked like, should I paint this or get rid of it? But I guess most of you guys said to paint it, so I'm just gonna spray paint it probably like a blue, maybe tomorrow, and then I'll just use that to store pool cleaning supplies. At first, I was thinking the guests can use it to store their floaties and whatnot, but after going inside it and cleaning it out, I'm like, this is kind of sketchy. I don't I don't want guests to be in there, so it's just gonna be for storage for my pool guy. And then this patch of grass, I'm gonna have a guy come and put artificial grass and then put like a putting green. So it's gonna have like 4 holes here, and then they can play like, you know, mini golf, or I guess people go to Arizona to play to golf, so they can work on their putting game here. And then the way back of it, we just put gravel back there. You can kind of see in the back right corner there's a tree, and then on the left behind the storage shed there's also a tree. I'm just gonna have the guy cut down both trees and just haul that away. So there'd be no more grass, no more trees. This bottom bush to the right, I'm gonna pull that out too. So there'd be nothing in the backyard for maintenance. Maybe like once or twice a quarter I'll have someone go there and pull weeds, but I guess Arizona, it's so hot, there's like no weeds, I guess. So I didn't even see any weeds this past week, so I don't think the gardeners needs to come in the backyard, but maybe in the front yard to like trim some stuff. But yeah, so this kind of recap, amenity wise, do you have a pool? Do you have mini golf in the backyard? I'll probably get like a large Connect 4 game and like cornhole, and then they have the ping pong table and arcade games inside the house. So here's another thing I want to kind of point out. So the deck is pretty old. Like I said, it only has 2 or 3 years left in it, and same for the pool itself, to resurface the whole pool. The quotes I got for everything was like 20 grand to make it, you know, all new. Had a pebble tech inside the pool, new deck and everything. Definitely, like I was saying, if you want to do a luxury, nice SGR, then definitely you need to do all of that. But I think for me, for families, I think this is okay. I might have a guy maybe patch up the cracks tomorrow, and maybe like, you know, put the texturing, cover it, and see how that looks like. But you're definitely going to see that patching on there. So that means you need to like paint it again, paint over the whole deck too. So I'll ask the guy tomorrow like how much that's going to cost. It definitely doesn't look too good, but if he's like, you know, like he wants like 1,500 for all of that, and that's too much. It was like 700, and you know, maybe I'll just do it, have him do it. So yeah. So if you paint it, yeah, texture and paint it, yeah, George, it'll probably look okay. Like I was saying, I'm kind of already over budget. And it's like, you know, I think today I just want to kind of show like, you know, if you try to be super perfect, you're gonna end up going, you know, spending more and more. And I haven't really gone too much into going to furniture. That's a big part of the cost here too. Yeah, so that's the pool. And then I'll probably put some string lights in the back so that there's more light. But I don't think I'm gonna add any floodlights, and that's too bright. Yeah, so that's pretty much the walk through the house. I guess any questions before we kind of go into Q&A?
So for the pool cleaner, I recommend the 4-wheel one. It's called the pool cleaner. If you don't have it, is that the 2-wheel or 4-wheel?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I could probably check when I get back there tomorrow. Yeah, but yeah,
because your pool is gonna have like a lot of issues. Like I was told, for Airbnbs, they recommend 2 times a week. Like a guy comes 2 times a week instead of 1 time, which is the norm.
Gotcha. Yeah, I might end up having like two different pool cleaners come. I think it's just too much of a risk to like have one that like forgets to come, and then so maybe I'll do that, Arthur. Like I'll get 2 cleaning, but from 2 different people. I think especially in the springtime for peak season, you definitely need to do it. Maybe the other seasons you can just get away with once a week, but yeah, I'll probably talk to other owners and see what they're doing. Yeah, but yeah, I'll look into that pool cleaner. Okay. Okay, let me go to the Facebook questions. You got some more questions, you can drop them in the chat.
Hey, Chris, I have a question. On average, for each Airbnb, how much time do you usually spend per week managing one Airbnb?
Yeah, so I would say in a way beginning, it might be a bit more. I think the goal is to have things already automated and like written out so that you're not trying to, figure out what they should do. And you got to think about like plan B and plan C if something happens. So, for example, you might have a smart lock on the front of your door that you give a code to the tenant, the guest, and then they can enter the house. But what happens if like for some reason it doesn't work? You didn't have a backup key somewhere in the front yard here where you can give them a code to like a lockbox and then they can enter the house. So like, as long as you have these automation and these backup plans for everything, managing it per week shouldn't be more than like, 30 minutes. Like you're just gonna answer some questions and then like that's it. Like most of the time I don't get involved at all. It's just times when like the edge cases pop up, like they can't get inside the house for some reason, or the Wi-Fi is down, the lock's not working. Some people might reach out because the house is not as clean as they expected it, and then just got to tell the cleaner to go again. And for the most part, the inquiries are like, do you have X, Y, or Z? Like, do you have a heated pool? Do you have this amenity? And then you can have things already written up on like I use like Notion, so I can send them like a link to like all the things, all the frequently asked questions, and then that's in my welcome guide message, so that they can just look at that and like not bother me. So I would say the first month you might need to talk to them for like an hour a week and then write up scenarios into this document. But after a month or two, it should be streamlined and like it should be more like half an hour a week, as long as you have these like backup scenarios covered.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Felix asked, do you use social media to advertise? I think down the road, I would do it. I have some friends, they run ads on Facebook or Instagram, and I think it works if you have a direct booking site and they can just go there and book it. But I think down the road, I would probably hire someone to manage them, and then they would have their own platform that they just, can get direct bookings from there too. So it's kind of like they can market it and then have like, many properties that they can choose from. I think one risk for like marketing is you pay for, either the views or the click. But once they get to your page, if you're not available for that weekend, you kind of wasted that opportunity almost. So I think down the road, I'll look more into it. But right now, I think I'm okay with how things are going. George Park says, yeah, put mini splits. Yeah, I think down the road, yeah, you can, do more of those upgrades. I think right now, I'll probably just keep it how it is and then see how this next peak season goes and maybe put more money into it. But yeah, I think if you put, too much money into it and you don't hit your numbers, then it's kind of like you're overpaying for something that's not going to return that much. Yeah, I haven't done ads too much, Felix, but I think if you want to do ads, you may want to target, I would say, the peak season, because that means people are actually looking for that and they can search for it. But yeah, in the off season, you might run ads and you're also having lower prices because no one's really booked. And then if you have like a ad that goes to your listing on Airbnb, you're kind of also marketing your competitors, and then they just see like, oh, like you're not available, or like, oh, you're $200 a night. Let me check the guy next to you. Oh, he's 150, and then you just like pay the ad to like get a booking for someone else. So it's you can try and see, but it depends. Yeah. Yeah. So I have noise sensors in some of mine, not all of them. I think for the most part, I'm pretty good at filtering out people. So like in Airbnb and VRBO, you can ask them to get identified. You can look if they have reviews or not. Usually if they're a local, they're probably trying to throw a party, but if someone's like out of state, you know, and there's some like old person, then, you know, they're probably not throwing a party. Yeah, because even with the noise sensors, it might, you know, tell someone, hey, there's something's going on in this house, but then you gotta send someone out there. So I think the main thing for me is try to prevent people doing that. So in my initial email message to the guest, if they're I always tell them like, you can't throw parties here, like why are you coming to town, and then you know, flesh them out from there. Also, I think once you have a more established listing, you get you know, more reviews, and then you can kind of filter out people. You get more inquiries each day. It can be more selective. So if someone has a lot of reviews and then someone has less reviews and like not as good not as many stays, then I just go with the person that has higher reviews, and they're always really good guests. Right, yeah, so they can use those logs to access without changing the code. Yeah, you don't want to get them keys. Okay, so let's go to the other questions. So David asked about, I guess, smart laws. Talked about that already. Yeah, the software I can talk more about next time. I think we can do a deeper dive in that. Next question is, how long does it take to set up? So it really depends on the size and what you plan to do. I think to set up a bedroom, if all you're doing is putting a bed in there and building a bed frame, it can, you know, it's probably a couple hours for that. You can, you know, mount the TV and whatnot, maybe like, you know, 3-4 hours per bedroom at most. So if it's a 5-bedroom, set all those beds and TVs up, it might take me like a day and a half. And then the living room, like another half a day, and the kitchen, maybe half a day. So for example, if this was just, you know, a fully remodeled house that's ready to go, and all I gotta do is furnish it, it'd probably take me 4 or 5 full days to do it. I think for me and Tenzin, when we're just furnishing it, we can probably get it done in like a week, and like we're both working full-time jobs. So I think, yeah, if you're just doing furniture, I think a week's enough. And if you need to hire people, you can just hire some handymen to help you build and you know, do the furniture. But one thing Tenzin and I found that was helpful was, you know, if we rent a pickup truck for the whole trip, we can just pick up furniture that's already kind of built, and maybe we gotta drive a little bit to get it, but maybe it's a higher quality product that's discounted because it's used. And we have a truck where some people don't have trucks, so then we're the ones that like would come and pick it up. And so we have a cheap, nice like table that's, you know, high quality and already assembled, versus buying something in a box to assemble, and that takes like, you know, 3 or 2 hours to build, and it's usually kind of like cheaply made because, you know, it's a box table. Okay, well, any other questions? About 10 minutes left, but like I said, I want to go over time and make sure you guys get what you need today. So any last questions? Tenzin. Yeah, I went to the antique store, like Tenzin and I, we go thrifting, but I don't know, these places is very expensive. Yeah, we never bought things from the stores. We ended up just going, you know, going like marketplace or whatnot and get furniture. I think a tip for that is, whatever market you guys decide to go into, like definitely reach out to people there and network and whatnot. Like seeing us today, I'm helping you guys learn a little bit. There's a bunch of people that helped me get to where I'm at today. So let's be sure to like reach out for referrals, contacts. Every city has some kind of special person or special like discounted option to furnish your house. So for example, in Arizona, there's an Arizona chat. I think either Arthur or someone told me, or maybe it was Liz, that there's like a furniture auction. So I think I bought some I built some furniture today. So after the call, I'm gonna check if I want anything, and then I'll get a U-Haul and I pick up that furniture and the furniture from Arthur's house too, and just try to do it all in one day. Yeah, but yeah, definitely, if you're in a rush and you time things well, you could, buy the house, uh, figure out your closing date, and then buy a bunch of furniture online, have it shipped there, and have someone, help you set it up or, set up for you. But yeah, I think everyone, you try to find, well, everyone's different. Like some people want to spend a lot of money and hire someone to do it, but you might end up spending like, I don't know, like 50 to 60K easily to like furnish it and hire someone, where like your returns might, not get that back for like 2, 3 years maybe. I think especially right now, the rates being higher, everyone's returns are getting cut a little bit. And if you hire someone out, like management for like, 10, 20%, and then hire someone to, set up for you, you might not, see profit for like, 4 or 5 years. I think for me, I just want to do enough where I'm like, I stand out versus all the other houses. And then over the next year, if it does well, I can add more and more things to it. Yeah, I guess, yeah, we have a Houston Airbnb. I don't know where the World Series is at, but I think we're booked this weekend. Not sure. You gotta ask Tenzin. Tenzin, do you know if we're booked this weekend? I think this is was the last. Was this? Yeah, we're booked. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So in Arizona, the Super Bowl in February is going to be here. So I just gotta make sure that I block out that weekend and then, charge more. Okay. Well, so other questions. Next week, same time, Thursday, 7:30. I'm gonna show this after it's all updated. Hopefully everything's done. So I guess everyone has a week to finish their work, and then yeah, we'll do a quick walkthrough of everything done, and then if you guys have more questions about the software, or like how to underwrite, then we can do that later this month too. But yeah, thanks for joining. Hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, let me know, and then yeah, I'll see you next week. Yes.